Hey Flosstube, this is Zoe from Stitching on the Side. Welcome if you are new here. Welcome back if you are returning with me for my third Flosstube video. I'm super excited to have you here. Here's a little preview on my table of some of the stuff we're gonna be chatting about today. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. If you're new here, I am a K-12 educator here in Philadelphia, and I have been cross-stitching for quite a while, but only recently kind of found and got into the Flosstube community. So let's dive in. So I have a bunch of stuff to share with you today. First, I'm going to share a fully finished object, and then an object that is both a start and a finish, actually, since last time we chatted. So here is my fully finished object. This is Fiona Rutherford sampler from 1866, and I got it as a kit from the Wishing Thorn, which is where you can also get the pattern. It is, as you can see, like a little mini sampler. This is stitched, since I got it as a kit, on the called for fabric. So this is a 32 count vintage country mocha, and it is stitched 1/1 on this fabric. And it uses 4 colors that are all DMC. So that's this piece. I started this one over winter break, so on the 23rd of December, and I finished it on January 6th. So it was a pretty quick project. You know, 1/1 takes some magnification and some thought that maybe larger stitch counts wouldn't, but it also went really, or larger stitch sizes wouldn't, but it went pretty quick, and I really love how it turned out. I just put this into a super cheap Amazon frame. If you watched one of my previous Flosstubes, I used the exact same style of frame for another project. So this is going to go up on the same sort of gallery wall area as that one, and I love it. I love how it turned out. So that is this piece, and then on the back of the frame, I just stuck on my, you can kind of see it behind the stand, I stuck on my little tag that has the information on the project, so that it's on the back there just for posterity, I guess. So that is my fully finished object for today, Fiona Rutherford. So then I also started and finished this piece since last we talked. If you follow me on Instagram, which is the same username, Stitching on the Side, I posted this one in progress as well over the time that I worked on it. This is Seasons of the Heart by The Blue Flower, and it is the winter season, I guess, of the series. I have all 4 in the series, and I plan to stitch them all this year. And I'm gonna finish this, I guess flat finish it, and then put washers on the back. I'll show you the full finish once it's all done. But essentially it'll be magnetized so that I can swap them out in the same display across the year. So I have some things on order to finish that up, and I'm super excited about that. This is all called for. So this is 1/2 on 40 count Picture This Plus pewter linen, which is the called for fabric, and it's all DMC threads. Super pretty. I really love how this turned out, and this was a pretty quick project too. So finished this like in the first week of January, I guess. Super pretty. Let me bring it up a little closer so you can see a little bit more. There we go. Super pretty. So I'm excited to keep working on this series. So this was, again, a start and a finish since last time we chatted. The other finish that I have that is not really a fully finished, but is finished, is this piece. It's Happy New Year Small. So I designed this myself. I folded the lettering from a old DMC embroidery or cross stitch pattern book. You can find a bunch of them on Antique Pattern Library website. So this is one of the sets of alphabets that they had there, and that's where I pulled the letter forms from. And then the rest of it is just sort of my own design. I don't think I want to keep it in this little hoop. So I think I'm not really sure how I'm gonna finish it. Maybe flat finish. I'm not positive yet. So it'll just live in this hoop for now. Just, you know, back's not very pretty. I used some metallic threads for this. The design that I made for this, I put up on my Instagram as a freebie, so it's there, the chart if you are interested, and I also showed the colors of DMC that I used on my Instagram as well for this guy. And this is just a scrap of I believe it's 40 count night sky linen. I think it is fiber on a whim. So that's this other finish. It's not fully finished because I don't love it in this hoop. So that is everything that I finished. I also put a few stitches in on both of my longer term whips. So I'll put a picture up of what Tapestry looked like last time we saw it. And then here is what Tapestry looks like now. So this is by Ink Circles. Here is a picture on my tablet of the final product. Super pretty. I put in about 440 stitches into this. I was working in this area, down in here, and that took me from 32% complete to 34% complete. So I'm gonna just keep picking away at this guy and working my way down. I think I'm gonna do this lower quadrant next. So you can see I've hit, this is the middle sort of that matches up here. I guess this is actually the middle, but this piece matches up with this piece. So my next kind of row right here is going to be recreating this row horizontally. So that's really going to be the middle. And then I'll be on this next bottom quadrant, which will just be a rotation of this piece. So I'm going to keep plugging away at this. This is 2/2 DMC on 36 count winter moon linen. And I like the 2/2 on this. I'm still kind of going back and forth with 2/2 versus 1/2 on 36 count. On this one, I like the 2/2, especially because it is like a tapestry design. It gives it more of that tapestry feel, in my opinion, to have those sort of thicker crosses. So that's Tapestry. Next, I will put a picture here of Pavane for These Times, which is my next longer term whip. This is my monochromatic whip that I've been working on. You can see where I was the last time we looked at it. And here is what the final finished piece is going to look like. So this is, as you can see, from Long Dog Samplers. And this is where I am currently on this piece. That's just about all of it. There we go. I think that's all my stitched area showing right now. I think since last we spoke, I have mainly been working up in this area. So I brought this border all the way across to the corner, brought it down just a little bit to really get that corner into place. I think I might have filled in some more of this bit over here since last time we talked. I think that's mainly where I was working. So I'm working on going across with these motifs. Gonna finish those going across here and then work on the larger kind of floral motif that mirrors this one over here next, working my way down, and then I will be working after that on the bottom section of this. So again, here is what the final product will look like. So I've got these two pieces, this larger motif and some small bits, and then I've got this lettering in, you can see right here. So I'll be working on the two floral motifs next to it, then this guy across, and then I'll just have that bottom piece to get to. So the work that I did since last time we talked, I don't know how many stitches it was, but it took me from about 45% to about 48%, so almost to halfway on this piece, which is super exciting. I am working this 2/2 on 36 count antique white linen, and I'm using DMC 517. And I realized after checking, like, what are these little bow tie guys? And I realized that there is back stitching because it doesn't show up obviously in Pattern Keeper. So all these little dudes, they are butterflies. So I will have to go back and put that back stitching in to make them look like butterflies, but that'll be a later part of the project. So really liking how this is turning out too, super pretty. So that is Pavane for These Times and my progress on that. All right, so that takes me to new starts. So I've been in kind of a mood for starting stuff lately, I guess. So like I mentioned, I started that Seasons of Winter piece that I also finished since last time we talked. I also started this guy, which is a small, I guess. This is Spring Snow, also by Ink Circles. I am turning 40 this year, and so I'm thinking that I would like to do a little challenge for myself and do 40 smalls for my 40th year. So I'm counting my New Year piece that I showed you, this as a small, so this is number 1. And then I think this guy is gonna be number 2 of the smalls. So I'm hoping to finish, not necessarily fully finish, but finish 40 smalls this year. Here is the picture of what this will look like when it's done. And this is, I don't know, I have to look more into what the definition of a small is. This is 107 stitches wide by 80 high, which I think counts, in my opinion, as a small. So super pretty, wintry. And this is where I am. So I started in the center, roughly down here, worked my way up this tree, did these guys, and then started working over here, and I'm currently working on this deer right here. So for this guy, I am working on 36 count dove, which is by weeks that I worked and is called for, except that it is called for as a 30 count, and I'm doing 36 count. And then I'm working 1/2 on this using the called for Gentle Arts flosses, which are these ones. So super, super pretty color scheme on this. And there's one more, I don't know where it is. Or there's 2 more, I mean, there's this. And then there is a really pretty brown that must have gotten stuck in the project bag or be downstairs by my stitching chair. But the color that this deer is in is the other one. So those are, it's super pretty. So let me lift it up a little closer. I'm really loving how this is turning out so far. So I do think because I'm doing 1/2 on this on 36, the colors are a little more muted on the fabric, but I think that's okay. I think it's super pretty. Try to tilt it so you can really get some of the color in there. I think it's coming up even more muted, less saturated on camera. The dove is a really pretty green tone. Not sure if that's coming through. So this is spring snow, and I am, let's see what percentage I'm at. After doing this bit, I am just about 20% through. So this should be a nice quick project. I did, the first day I worked on it, I did, I think I did the whole tree except for the snow. And then the second session, I did everything else that you see here. So it's going quick. So this is winter snow by ink, or sorry, spring snow by ink circles. And then the last start that I have since last we talked is Dover Sampler, which I have talked about before because I am obsessed with it. Here is the cover sheet, such as it is. And this is a pattern from Sampler and Antique Needlework Quarterly magazine. I talked in a different Flosstube about how you can get all of the issues of that as PDFs on a DVD. That's how I got this one. I am doing this on this really beautiful green linen. I don't know if you can see like the modeling and again the I think the like vibrance and saturation of the color is maybe not coming through fully, but this is a really beautiful hand-dyed green linen that I got from Number 12 Stitch Company, which is an Australian dyer, and it's called Woodland Pine. It has just like really subtle modeling in through here. Super pretty. So I did this first center top motif. So I did like a center top start. This is using all called for DMC. There are some specialty, there are some specialty stitches in here. So you can see maybe in this border up here, there are some vertical stitches, sort of like satin stitches, but they're not fully filling the area. And then I just barely started some of the lettering, which uses those same vertical stitches here. Super pretty. I'm really excited about this one. Really excited to keep making some progress on this one. This one, since it came from a magazine, is not digitized. I'm working with this one on the paper pattern, so I don't have any counts for you, but looking back at the cover image, I started, as you can see, with this center floral motif, and then I'm gonna finish the top and work my way down. Probably gonna do, probably alternate between alphabets and like the floral sort of side motifs as I go. So super excited to keep working on this one. And this I'm doing 1/2, and this is a 36 count linen, I believe. Yep, 36 count, 1/2. All right, so those are all the projects that I've got going right now. The other things that I wanted to show you, okay, so I wanted to show you, oh, let me show you the threads for Dover Sampler real quick. So here's that linen and the bit I did, and then look at all of these colors. It's so pretty, so pretty. Those are all the colors. Look at that. It's so pretty. Let me see if I can show you with the fabric. I mean, the best, the best. So my obsession continues with this pattern. I'm excited to keep working on it and to show you my progress as I go. All right, so the haul that I wanted to show you, when I placed the order from Number 12 Stitch Company in Australia, I ordered on Etsy, I believe. I also got a kitted up version of Painted Flowers, which is by Shakespeare's Peddler. It's super pretty. I mentioned this in my plans video, I think. Super, super pretty. Also has sort of like a tapestry feel to it, I think. So this came from Number 12 Stitch Company. There's the card. It came with the fabric. There's the Etsy shop name. So it came with her fabric. So this is 40 count Steely Nights was the fabric that she sent, and it is so beautiful. Look at that. It is sort of a purpley gray tone. I am obsessed. It's beautiful. And then she sent all of the called for threads for the pattern, which, you know, sometimes I'm lazy and it's nice to have someone kit up everything for you. Let me move them up so you can see them with the, fabric. And then there's 2 gentle arts that go with it too. So pretty. So that was some haul that I got that I'm really excited about. I'm not going to start this one right away. This reads more sort of like later spring to me. Oh, it also came with these really cute little, charms. Super cute. So this reads, I'm going to do this a little later in the spring, I think. I have some other stuff I want to work on first, but I'm really excited to have this. Oh, one more piece of haul that I wanted to show you. I got my first pair of reading glasses. I don't need them for actual reading, but I got them specifically for stitching on smaller pieces. These are from Amazon. They were like $6 or $7. They are like, I think they're 1.5 magnification, and it really makes such a big difference for working on those much smaller stitch sizes. So on the 40 count fabric, especially the darker fabrics, or when my eyes are starting to get tired, or when the lighting is not as great, these make all the difference in the world. So I highly recommend, if you are working on some smaller stitches and you are just even like the littlest bit uncomfortable with seeing them, this is a quick and easy solution. I have a magnifying light thing too, but this is great for when I don't need that whole setup and I just want a little bit more magnification of my work. Love it. Highly recommend. $6 Amazon. All right. The other 2 things I wanted to show you today are a planned project that I'm working on. So I sometimes, like I showed you with the New Year's piece, like to sort of design my own fun little projects. So I've been sketching up a Valentine's project, and I spent some time this morning and pulled some threads from my stash and borrowed 1 or 2 from another project that's kitted up temporarily. And so this is what I'm going to use to stitch up my model stitch of my next self-designed small that I have sketched up and that I'm working on right now. So I'm super excited. This is a Valentine's project, as you can tell. I'm going to be using a little piece of this Morganite from Fiber on a Whim. This is 36 count. And then these are the colors that I think I'm going to be using. A lot of the time as I stitch up the sort of sample, I make some changes while I'm stitching. So that's kind of fun, like the iteration between what I've sketched up to what I've put into the design software to what actually comes out when I'm stitching it. It's a fun little back and forth process. I just want to give you a little preview of this. I will for sure post whatever I come up with on my Instagram as I work on it and once it's ready. So there's that. And then the last thing I wanted to show you is my planner that I use. So I know a lot of folks have been talking about their book of days, and a lot of people in the cross stitch and Flosstube communities use book of days to organize their and keep track of their stitching. So I'm not a huge fan of like the big giant paper planners. I do love paper planners. I use them. I have one I use for work that usually stays at work. I have one that I use for personal planning and keeping track of stuff that is a similar size to this one that stays usually in my bag. And then I have this one that I'm using for stitching and other crafting type projects this year. So this is a Hobonichi Day Free in size A6. So this is a Hobonichi planner, which if you're familiar with them, you'll be probably familiar with this, but it has the basic layouts are, it has this sort of calendar at a glance for multiple years, and then it has this month at a glance section, and then it has each month as a spread. But unlike other Hobonichis and a lot of other planners, there's no weekly layouts and there's no daily layouts. So after you get through all the months, there's just a bunch of blank grid pages for the rest of the notebook. So it's great for me because I have the calendars to keep track of just enough stuff, and then I have a lot of pages for notes. So I just went ahead, I got a Midori clear plastic cover that fits this nicely, and I just sort of collaged with some packaging remnants, paper packaging remnants that I had stashed from some order, like probably more than a year ago. That's this really pretty paper, some washi tape, some sticky notes, just some bits and pieces that I had in my stash. You can see I didn't do a super accurate job cutting, no worries. Did that. I've started sticking some stickers on here. I've got some sticky notes, some little planner stickers stuck in the front cover there. And then I am using this layout to keep track of a running whip list for this year. So just adding them as I go here. And if I run out of space there, I'm going to go ahead. This gives you months into 2025. So I'll go ahead over into the 2025 section and add there as needed. My thought is that across the top, I'm gonna put my finishes each month. I'm not sure if they'll fit, I guess we'll see. And then new starts I'm adding in here. I might do a combo of new starts and finishes in this area as we go, kind of figure that out as we go. So that's this section. And then going into the months, I've just been keeping track of what I work on each day, similar to like what I see a lot of people using their book of days for, but what I work on each day is when something is new, when something is finished, where I am on projects at the beginning of the month, all that kind of good stuff. When I'm recording Flosstubes is in here. And then one of the things I used to do a lot of like creative journaling. So this is my 2023 Hobonichi, like the standard daily planner that I have. And I was using this for creative journaling, and you can see I usually get like halfway through the year and then I kind of trail off. I haven't started one this year. For a variety of reasons, but I used to keep these up daily, and they were super fun because you just like, I could collage and do all kinds of fun stuff. So this is like an example of a spread where I would just be sort of throwing all kinds of stuff on the page, including pictures. But one thing I used to do in this one, and this is a page I never finished, but I would keep track of projects. So this is a cross stitch project that I worked on, as you can see, in April of, what year is this? This is 2023, I believe. Yes, in April of 2023, this was a gift that I made. It's a mandala dog. I made this for a family member, and so it was finished back then and sent along to them. I don't have that anymore to show you, but this is a progress side by side, and this is printed on really thin, like tracing paper almost, on just on my color printer at home, which is a way I like to do it, but it only works when I have a lot of stuff to print because I need to kind of collage up and fill up the whole page. But I really enjoyed this and kind of keeping track of where I was on projects and my progress over stitching sessions by putting these pictures into this planner. So I have also seen the Oki Stitcher on YouTube. She showed her book of days from last year in a recent Flosstube, and she does something similar. And so I'm also doing that in my craft and stitching planner. So these ones are printed. I've got these little teeny pictures in here that are printed on my Canon Ivy little printer that prints out sticker photo paper. The print quality, as you can see, is not amazing, but it's fine for just like sticking in a little memory of a piece that's finished. So these are the pieces that I've finished so far this month, and they are just kind of placed on the page so I can go back and remember them as I go. So super excited about this. And then in the notes pages, I've got a variety of different things. So I've got some ideas I have for like patterns I might want to decide to design. I've got a list of some local and semi-local LNSs. I've got ideas for Flosstube. I have my notes from the Flosstubes that I've made, my notes for today's Flosstube, some ideas of future stitching projects I might want to do that came from watching. Mostly these came from, I think, whip parades. And then I have some notes about incoming orders of like individual flosses that I got that are missing from Kitted Up projects, so that I remember when they arrive, I remember where they go. Because sometimes, you know, I'll get a package of a bunch of miscellaneous flosses and I cannot for the life of me remember what project each one goes with when they're not all like a single kitted project. So I've got some notes here for that. And then I have tons and tons of pages left in here just for other notes. Oh, and then at the end, I just have my like miscellaneous, it has all these extra pages at the back. And so I'm just using these for like miscellaneous calculations and scribblings and stuff like that. So it's a great little notebook that I'm using to keep track of all of my projects and my stitching and my ideas and everything like that. So I wanted to show you that as well. And this complements my online setup that I showed in my 2024 plans video really nicely. So that's sort of my overview and my reference. And this is my day-to-day tracking and planning. So that's it. You can probably hear one of my kids coming up to see what I'm up to. So I'm going to finish it there, but I will see you soon for another Flosstube. Happy stitching, friends.